Alright, so hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Xotic PCs because I've been getting a couple of recommendations from you guys in my comment section below. And as well, I've been getting some ads on Twitter along with YouTube about these guys' PCs, so I might as well just take a look at them. And from the thumbnail and the title of the video, I'm sure you guys can probably assume that I'm not gonna, review them too favorably, but I still kind of think they might have their niche depending on who you are. I think everybody has a niche, but again, we're just gonna be kind of talking about value and comparing them to other pre-builts on the market today. But before we get into that, guys, make sure that if you do like the content, leave a like, and if you want to watch more, hit that subscribe button. Alright, so this is their main website, nothing too crazy. It's basically the generic website for most gaming PC companies. Basically, they're a custom gaming PC company. They're just like Digital Storms. They pride themselves on being able to put together like custom water cooling loops, having like custom paint jobs and stuff like that. And I definitely think that there are other companies out there on the market that provide similar services to these guys, maybe at better prices. But yeah. Alright, so before we kind of get into anything else, I kind of want to just get like this kind of crap out of the way. It's basically, this is the kind of stuff that you're paying for with your PCs. You're not really paying for the hardware. You're basically paying for all of the extra stuff that they do, so you can get some custom braided cables for no money extra, I guess is what this thing is talking about. You get an upgrade program. You get a 5-year warranty, so I mean, I guess that stuff is all pretty nice. Alright, so now let's kind of go into the comparison section. So this is one of their lowest end gaming PCs, and I'm sure the build quality on this thing is fantastic. I'm sure cable management is excellent. But in terms of specs, for the amount of money that you're spending, you're really not getting anything. So for your processor, which doubles as your graphics card, this is an APU. It does not have a dedicated GPU, so you have a Ryzen 3 4350G. This thing performs worse than a Ryzen 5 3400G, but performs a tiny bit better than a Ryzen 3 3200G, but not by a lot. And then when we're taking a look at motherboards, this is just the lower end motherboards that we can see from AMD. Any of the A series chipsets are usually going to be kind of the bargain bin board, so nothing great there. Again, this is our integrated graphics. You only have 8 gigs of RAM, so honestly this PC really isn't a gaming PC. Sure, you might be able to play some esports games, but anything that actually demands any sort of graphics performance or any heavy CPU utilization, this thing is not going to perform well. And I'm sure you guys can go through all the options and get all the security stuff, and of course you got the 5-year warranty. But when we compare it against something else that's on the market that's at a similar price range, like the VRLA Tech Aurora, it basically blows this thing out of the water. So for $700, you're getting a roughly worse performing CPU, sure, but you are getting, again, around the same quality motherboard, double the amount of RAM that you have. You've got a dedicated graphics card, which is actually pretty good for 1080p gaming, no matter which kind of thing you're playing. If you can play COD on this, you can play, I'm sure you could play Cyberpunk on like low settings with this thing. So it's honestly a pretty decent graphics card. Then you have a 120GB SSD with a 1TB hard drive. A little bit worse than what we have on here. It's the SSD is a little bit smaller. But other than that, man, like this is just overall better value. It's actually cheaper too. It's $700 flat instead of the $740 that you're paying with this gaming PC. That's honestly kind of an unfair comparison, I guess, since I know that these guys are a boutique kind of company. They're really going for the premium kind of look on their computers. So I'm going to compare apples to apples here. So we're going to compare one of their higher end systems, one of their more customized things, against something like a Digital Storms PC. So in terms of specs here, we've got a pretty decent gaming setup. For our graphics card, we have a GTX 1660 Ti, mostly a 1080p graphics card. You've got an i7 10700K, a pretty decent motherboard. 600 watt. It's actually this is actually not that great of a power supply, since it's not even like a bronze or silver or gold certified. It's just 80 plus, so the efficiency on this power supply really isn't gonna be that great, and the overall wattage on the thing isn't great either. Now for RAM, we've got 16 gigabytes of DDR4 3200. You got 500 gigabyte SSD with a 2 terabyte hard drive. Basically, I configured this thing to be almost the exact same gaming PC as this Lynx off of Digital Storms. And for the first time ever on this channel, Digital Storms is actually better value. The Core i7's 10700K, it's like everything's basically the same. The motherboard's a little bit worse. It's by Asus, but it's not their Pro. This is their Prime series, so it's a tiny bit worse in terms of just like VRM and stuff like that if you're looking at overclocking. But I really don't think that that's a big deal, considering that I wouldn't overclock to 10700K with only a 600 watt PSU on this system. You're really not going to get a whole lot of headroom in order to do that on your system. As well, we do have a better power supply on here, so you might be able to overclock still. I wouldn't suggest it. And then we get a 2060 instead of a 1660 Ti. Which this is an arguably better graphics card. It's going to put out higher frame rates, and you also have the RTX features, so if you want to ray trace and stuff like that, this graphics card has that. And the funny thing is that this thing, even though it is the better gaming PC, it is still less money than what this thing is, even with the 3% cash discount. And yes, I will concede that these guys are having a better case, I'm sure, and then you're getting all your RGB fans and stuff like that. But that's not really the point here. The point is that a company like Digital Storms, that is almost famously not really giving you great value, but is giving you actually pretty decent customization options, is outperforming this PC in price to performance when this thing actually costs more. And to drive that nail in even further, if you take a look at a company like Build Redux, which is actually a sister company of Digital Storms, a similarly priced PC, it's actually less than what Digital Storms PC is, so it's a good $200, $300 cheaper than what this PC is. You're getting some amazing value. You're getting an i7 10700K with a RTX 3070, an amazing graphics card. You're getting double the RAM capacity. You're of course getting a liquid cooled system. You're getting the same motherboard that's on the Digital Storm system, so it's a little bit worse than what's here on the Xotic PC system. And then of course you're getting your fans, you're getting the same storage configuration, you're getting a better power supply than on either of these, and then as well you're getting a Wi-Fi card and then the Windows 10 Home. And if you want to save money, you can take off the Windows 10 Home thing and save, it's like $100 and something. So like, yeah, this thing is a good bit less money than what both of these systems are. This thing is just going to be outperforming either of these systems, and even then, the case on here and the fans are honestly on the same quality that I would consider this PC. I'm sure this Fractal Design Evolve case is a really good one. I've actually had this PC case before. It's pretty good quality. It has like 2 swinging side panels, and you know, that's all cool and all, but I don't think anybody would be upset with this Cooler Master case. It's got a mesh front panel, great airflow, it looks great too. And yeah, so my overall thoughts on this company, I don't think that, again, they really warrant a purchase from a whole lot of people unless you want something really custom. And again, even if you did, I would probably recommend CLX over these guys. And I've actually done a full review on one of the systems that I got from these guys. These guys were super nice and sent me over a pretty high-end gaming system that I got to review from them. And you guys can get custom paint jobs too. And that's like another thing that these guys are promoting. Like, you get custom paint jobs, you get this custom cable sleeving and all of this stuff. Whereas CLX is also allowing you to do this stuff, except you can pick every single component, and it's honestly at pretty decent pricing as well. So Xotic PC is basically just another Digital Storms in the market, and until they can kind of figure out if they're gonna offer anything better than just a 5-year warranty, I really don't see a whole lot of reason why people would go out and buy these guys, considering what else there is on the market. Again, I know I'm not the guy who made this quote, but I firmly believe in it when you're talking about PC hardware, is that there's no such thing as a bad product, only bad pricing. And because this thing really isn't priced very well for what you're getting, I honestly think that this PC company really isn't worth a purchase from. But this is all subject to change. As we saw in my build Redux video, that they initially weren't my best rated company. I rate them as a B in my tier list for my gaming PC tier list video, but then I swiftly moved them to a S tier once you were allowed to take off the Windows 10 key, which basically made them one of, if not the best value gaming PC brand that you can buy from. So yeah, that's my quick summary on these guys. If you guys have any more questions about these guys, if you guys want to know more about my opinions, you guys can go down in the comment section below and talk about that. Or if you guys want to talk to me directly or anybody else who's on the channel, you guys can go and join the channel Discord. So hopefully you guys have a great day, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one. Peace.